Hey guys, it's me, Ben, back with another bonus babble, episode 7 for Saturday, the 24th of June, 2017. And I wanted to make sure I did one of these episodes for you because the bits and bobs for the coming week is a bit up in the air. I'm going away for a while, the end of next week, which means I wouldn't be able to record the bits and bobs as usual on the Saturday, as I won't be about, and then the following weekend I still won't be about. I'll still be away. So that means, you know, we potentially might not have bits and bobs until the weekend after that, which meant I really wanted to make sure I had some content for you guys today. And that would be a bummer if we don't record for that long, but I might be able to get a recording in, at least with Joel, next week. So fingers crossed on that. That'll be like Thursday or something like that, but I can't promise it. Schedules have to align. It's all my fault. I'm the one going away, so I'm throwing everything out of whack. However, it's kind of a good time for it. So post E3, not a lot of big games coming out. Things are a bit quieter right now. Me and the guys are working through our backlog of games for review and stuff like that. We've got a lot of indie games that we try to look at, try to get some content up for, which I'm going to talk about a couple in a minute, which I've been playing. I've been playing the one big indie release that came out on PlayStation as well this week. That's just for fun. I just picked that up myself because I'm a big fan of the Housemarque stuff. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to mention some of the new stuff and some of the sales stuff that's happened this week. So there's some really good deals out there right now. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the games I've been playing. So I've been playing Butcher, and my review for that is up on the site. And Butcher is this kind of 2D side-on Doom-inspired gore fest. Basically, you're this cyborg sent to Earth to wipe out the last vestiges of humanity in a post-apocalyptic hellscape. Lots of industrial levels, jungle levels. There is variety to the levels. And the screenshots really don't do this game justice. In motion, it's a twin-stick shooter, but it looks great. There's this pixel art to it, this really violent, gory aesthetic, and it's a lot of fun. I found the shooting mechanics, the jumping mechanics, all the controls in general very tight. I love the music, really, really cool music. And I like those hyper-violent games that don't pretend to be something that they're not. It was a lot of fun to play. So I definitely recommend you guys checking that out if you're looking for something to fill a lull, to fill a hole between big releases, which is where we're at right now. Before sort of September kicks off, games are a bit quiet, and you know, the arrival of Destiny 2 in September. But right now we're kind of looking at these indie titles, these triple indies, as I like to refer to them, triple indie, of which I'll be talking a little bit more. So on top of Butcher, I also played Human Fall Flat, which I've got a review up for. Both of these games, very, very good games. Human Fall Flat has been about on PC for absolutely ages now. I think about a year. And it's finally made its way to consoles. It's basically a physics-based puzzler in which you play this avatar, this strange blob-like man, which you can customize and control and move around the environments, doing various physics-based puzzles, flicking switches, pulling things, jumping off of things, that sort of thing. It's got a fun aesthetic, and it's got this thing where you fall off the level, you fall all the way down and then land back in that same level. So there's no like spawn or respawn animation, which is fun. Gives a nice sense of integrity to the world that you're in. It's got co-op, which makes it just doubles the fun when you're trying to clear these levels with the assistance of a friend. The chaos just multiplies. And obviously you can also customize your character. There's a bit of a slight experience, and there's not much more to say than that. It's got fun narration. It's got some nice voice kind of narration that leads to some humor. And the tutorials are also very humorous as well in the game. And I just had it's a really nice, fun, well-constructed little game. It's not going to blow anyone's minds, especially as it's been around and covered on various sites for quite a while on PC now. But it's great to see these games come into console, you know. That means a lot, and it means that you can get in those experiences even if you're not a big PC gamer. I'm at that point with my PC. I reformatted it recently to make it behave a bit better. I don't even have Steam installed right now, and I think, you know, that's worth. We'll talk about this right now. I don't have Steam installed, and right now it's the summer sale on Steam, which is usually the big yearly blowout. And I did look. I went on the website even without having it installed, and yeah, nothing like blowing my mind with the crazy big deals on surprisingly new titles. I mean, there's some great stuff in there, like Abzu, BioShock Collection, you know, Crysis, FTL, all at amazingly low prices. I can keep going on. You know, there's a lot of games you've heard buzz about over the last 12 months, 18 months, 2 years that if you haven't already picked up, you know, one of my favorite open world games from last year, Mafia 3, is ridiculously cheap on Steam. But like, this is what you'd expect. And, you know, Middle-earth: Shadow of War, which has got the sequel coming out very shortly in August, that's incredibly cheap. That's 80% off right now in the Steam Summer Sale, and I highly recommend checking that out. But you know, that game came out sort of 3-4 years ago. If you haven't already experienced how great that is, yes, now is the time to jump on. If you've got the rig that can handle it, it's awesome. But there's not a lot. I combed through these releases, and obviously Summer Sale touches like 90%, I would say, of the catalog on Steam to some degree. So, you know, most of the things in your wish list will probably be reduced as it was in mine. I think about out of the 60 odd 70 titles in my wish list, maybe like 50 or 60 of those were reduced. So yeah, you're going to find reductions on just about everything you can imagine. So you might as well, if you're looking to buy some games right now, it's a great place to do it. But in conjunction to the Steam Summer Sale, this surprise little sort of indie sale happened on Xbox. The big kind of marquee reduction there is that the Hitman Complete First Season is down to under 20 quid. And if you haven't already picked up one of the best games of last year, I highly recommend it. I know Richard jumped on board at this price, so I look forward to hearing from him when we get a chance to do a bits and bobs about his thoughts on the game. But there's loads of great indie titles in there as well. And the reason Hitman is now considered an indie title is that IO Interactive went independent, and now they have the control completely over the Hitman IP. So almost that week that news came out, it was there in the indie sale on Xbox, which I thought was pretty fun that they were able to do that. But there's lots of games on there that I highly recommend. And Dungeon Punks, which I absolutely adored and reviewed way back when. God, that must be best part of a year ago. That's on there. That's this 2D side-scrolling action game, which I highly recommend picking up for nearly 70% off. So definitely worth checking out. But there's loads of stuff. I'm just looking through the list here as I talk to you guys. I also picked up Rogue Legacy, which I already owned on PS4 and PC, but I absolutely adore that game, that 2D roguelite, which is this sort of all to do with the genealogical passing on of the baton between every time you die, you get a new, your new character is a descendant of the one before, and that's how it passes on the experience and the money, and you're upgrading your castle and getting abilities in this 2D action game, and I really enjoy that. That's a fun game. Jotun is on there, Valhalla Edition, which is this beautiful 2D sprite work, kind of Viking set, Valhalla gods and big monsters and big creature boss fights, which are really, really fun and absolutely stunning game. Massive Chalice, if you missed it in Xbox Lives when it was in Games with Gold, definitely worth checking out. That's like an XCOM sort of turn-based strategy game. Loads of really cool things in there. Absolutely tons of stuff. I picked up Crypt of the Necrodancer as well, and I picked up Guns, Gore, and Cannelloni, which is a 2D shoot 'em up sort of like game, like you're fighting zombies, but you're in this sort of Prohibition era mobster character. It's got actually surprisingly good writing and a really good sense of humor, and it's hard. If you play it on the medium settings and above, that game will punish you, and you have to really think about the encounters and how you're going to deal with the enemies. And if you miss those kind of like left to right, you know, shootathons where you're dealing with waves of enemies and picking up different power-ups and different guns, you know, it's a nice throwback to that genre, and it's dirt cheap. I basically picked up Rogue Legacy, Guns, Gore, and Cannelloni, and Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is this roguelike which uses an amazing rhythm action mechanic. I picked up all of those for under £10, like total, for those 3 games. And there's a lot of game in there, and I didn't actually really even spend £10 because this is money I had on my account from using the rewards program on Xbox. So I was very happy about that, especially post E3. I mentioned this on Bits and Bobs, just chilling out a little bit with the gaming. I've got back into the reviews, as I mentioned already, but you know, just building back up to a cadence and stuff, you know, after exhausting ourselves with all those amazing podcasts, which I hope you enjoyed, and all the coverage and stuff on the website. I do hope that went down well with you guys. I'm just looking through this list. There's so much stuff. The Fall is on there at 75% off. The Fall. Now, The Fall is an amazing narrative-driven action mixed with sort of point-and-click adventure game in which you play as... I don't want to say too much. It's sci-fi. It deals with consciousness. It deals with artificial intelligence in very creative ways. It's the first episode in this game, and I know the next one's being worked on, but it's a little way off yet. And it's absolutely mind-blowingly good game. 3/4 Home Extended Edition, another very narrative-focused game. I could keep going and going and going, but I won't. It's a really good sale that I recommend you check out. There's so much good stuff in there for pennies, for less than a pint in some cases, you know, incredibly good value. And in addition to that, PlayStation have got a sale going on right now, a double discount sale, which has got loads of loads of last year's big AAA games and the year before at really, really low prices. Things like The Witcher 3 Game of the Year edition at like less than 20 quid. If you don't own The Witcher 3 on a platform, buy that game. That's one of the greatest role-playing games ever made. Absolutely. And Game of the Year, it has amazing DLC. I can't crow about how great The Witcher is, how beautiful, how opulent, how stunning an experience with hundreds of hours of gameplay for less than 20 quid. That is a must buy. A must buy if you don't already own that. Hitman's on sale on PlayStation as well. Dishonored 2, which, while I didn't love, under 20 quid. That's hard to ignore. That's a fantastic price for that. Mafia 3, it's a little bit more expensive, not as much of a discount here, but they are still really supporting that game and bringing out lots of cool DLC for it. But you can get the deluxe edition, which includes that season pass, for just over £30 on PlayStation. So there's absolutely, it's a good time for sales. You know, what we're expecting as well in the next week or two will be the Xbox summer sale, which they've done pretty regularly at the start of July. And what I would imagine to see in that are a lot of the games that are getting sequels this year. So you're going to see the Shadow of Mordor, I would think, in that. You're going to see another game I've been playing recently. Because what I've done, what I found myself doing, I should say, is going back to play some of the games that are getting these sequels. For example, I've been playing Metro Last Light, which I realized I never actually played on Xbox One. I think I played it through on 360, but I never played on Xbox One. So I thought with Metro Exodus coming, which is one of my most hotly anticipated games, and I know it's a while off, it'll be well into next year, but I thought, oh, I need to get back into that Metro world. And it's such a unique and engaging and a different type of first-person shooter. It's such a beautiful world. It's so dark and weird and personal, and it's about this Archim's journey through it. Absolutely fantastic. I've also been playing Wolfenstein: The New Order. A little bit. I intend to play through the whole thing again. As I mentioned on Bits and Bobs, I didn't do the other storyline because there's a branching storyline. And I'm going to go through all of that before the new Colossus comes out, or I think it might be Colossus, comes out, Wolfenstein 2. That's not far away. That's like the end of August or September or October, something like that. One of the coming months. That looks stunning. One of the best looking games at E3 easily. So I've actually, weirdly, I've actually been playing a lot of games. And another game I will quickly mention that I have been playing, this is going to be for review, is Lethal League. And this is a little game. It's a very pretty game. It's kind of like a 2D fighting game, you know, almost in the vein of Injustice 2, but really different. You don't hit your opponent directly. You have to hit, hence the Lethal League. It's a play on baseball. You hit this ball around the arena that you're in, around the screen. So you have to hit the ball and bounce it into your opponent. And you have these 6 vivid, wild-looking different characters that all have different special abilities. And this is definitely a game that's basically just for multiplayer. And the problem is I've had some problems finding games in multiplayer. But I did find a lovely young man to play against in the US. It was really good fun. And we actually ended up, again, I've had the greatest luck recently finding nice people to play against on Xbox Live. And have these random encounters where we've actually, you know, got into a party and chatted and stuff and added each other as friends. And he was really good fun to play with. And he just got the game as well. So it timed out really well. We were both novices having these really close matches. And it was really good fun. And we were just trying out different characters and stuff, discovering which ones we liked playing as more. And it's a small game. It's not trying to be super ambitious, but it's got seemingly good, solid net code. And I think in a couch competitive situation, it would be great fun to play. And I look forward to trying that out as well. But there'll be a full review of that coming down. Now, there's not been a lot of news this week post E3. Everybody's still digesting that. However, Ubisoft did something that was awesome. They were showing behind closed doors Beyond Good and Evil 2 sort of tech demo to the press at E3. And I don't know if they always planned this or they were just like, let's ride that wave of positivity off the amazing video we showed. Let's show that demo to the world. So they did, and they basically do this tech demo, which shows the scalability of their engine and how robust it's going to be to go from like the city level to the orbit level to the galaxy level, went out and out and out. And oh my God, if you haven't watched this video yet, if you weren't already feeling the hype of a Beyond Good and Evil 2 just off of that cinematic, you need to check out this video. There's a link to it in the show notes. It's on the BXB's Facebook page. You can find it all over the internet. Watch this video and be amazed. If you like the tech, it's like No Man's Sky, but with the visual fidelity of a Naughty Dog game. And also, instead of it all being procedurally generated, they're also doing non-procedural generation in the cities, and like they're going to have scripted stuff in there as well. And it's going to be handcrafted and procedurally generated. It looks amazing that this game has been developed. It looks like future tech. It gives you that sense of excitement that the original No Man's Sky prospect gave me, though, you know, tempered that, you know, quickly with the realization of the size of the team. But, you know, with the Ubisoft development power behind this, with the fact that this game has been worked on, this engine, they didn't want to talk about this game until this engine was there, until they had the tech that could make their scope work. And they've shown this video to prove that they've got it. And it's there, and it's got things like crazy levels of terrain deformation. They've got this thing where, you know, your interactions with the worlds and how they will interact with each other will be remembered and will have ramifications. And the scale from your fully customizable character up to your ship, which can be inside another ship, which can be inside another ship, this idea of Russian dolls, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it just looks so impressive. It looks like, you know, magic, evil magic at work. It doesn't seem possible that these kind of games can potentially be made. And I still think this game's a few years away, you know, realistically, but what is being shown in this video gives me so much hope and so much hype that I think, you know, retroactively, it was already a front runner for the best thing I saw at E3. But, you know, 2017 in the coverage, I wish I'd been there, but, you know, I don't want to give the impression that I actually was. But now with this tech on show, it is easily the coolest thing. So I'm going to leave you guys with that thought. Go and check that video out. Make sure you check out my reviews for Butcher, Human Fall Flat. The other guys have got reviews coming as well. Make sure you get over to the website and check out all the E3 coverage if you haven't already. I just want to talk to you guys, my friends, before I went on holiday, in case I didn't get another chance to speak to you before that, basically. It could be another few weeks before I get to communicate with you guys in this manner, or we get to do a bits and bobs. So I just wanted to get out there, talk about some games, talk about some cool news and the cool sales. There's so many amazingly good, like cheap priced, amazing AAA, all the way to amazing indie games out there right now. You can pick up some incredible bargains post E3, because I think the guys have gone, the publishers have gone like, you know, let's get that stuff out there. Everybody's hyped for video games. Let's make them available right now, because people want to spend money on the stuff that's coming. Like I said, the summer sale, sorry, for Xbox is just around the corner as well. So there's going to be some great stuff. And they might, you know, PlayStation is always really aggressive with all the different sort of sales and stuff that they do. So that brings us to the end of this bonus babble, episode 7 for the 24th. Please rate and review us on iTunes. Please follow us on Twitter, BXB Games. Facebook is BXB Games. The club on Xbox is BXB Games. The group on PlayStation is BXB Games. Not that we ever really use it. But yeah, lots of stuff coming. There'll be games around the corner. Before you know it, we'll be talking about more big releases in August and September. So I would say use this month, use next month to catch up on your backlog, to play some of these weird little indie games that we love so much on BXB. And I'll speak to you when I speak to you. Bye, friends. Catch you later.